Well, and then I have all this for you guys.
Join me in the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, the republic, which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, welcome, everybody. If you haven't signed in over here to far my right, please do so for record of the meeting. We do have a rezone hearing that's going to take place at 7:15. We've got another hearing to schedule. I'm going to
June 2024 financials, bank reconciles up there for signature, appropriation status, and ledger report, email cash summary report year to date. Approval of trustee meetings for May the 15th, 2024, regular trustee meeting, and May the 29th, 2024, special trustee.
I would move we approve May 15th and May 29th meeting minutes.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Approval of warrants and vouchers, starting with warrant number 13470 through warrant number 13503. Voucher number 77-2024 through voucher number 90-2024, total amount $120,025.47.
Motion to approve.
Yep, motion. As such,
Is that a motion?
it is.
Okay, I'll second it. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
Approval to close Amazon business account effective 6/12/2024. The credits are not returned to the account. We still had a credit of $103.94 from October the 1st, 2023, and another credit of $89.90 since May the 1st. Since then, the funds I have worked on and the funds have been returned to the Harlan Township's bank. On behalf of the trustees, I will complete the closing of the account if approved.
I would move approval to close the Amazon account and Lisa be signer.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Approval to open a regular Amazon account effective 6/13/2024. The annual cost is $139, which is $40 cheaper than the business account, and credits will automatically be applied to the credit cards used on file. The credits will not sit on the account, unable to be applied back to the card or taken off the invoice as credit instantly. I request that I will complete the setup on behalf of the trustees.
So move. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
The financial reports are online, including audit reports, year-end financial reports, and monthly financial reports under fiscal office, and then fiscal reporting. Harlan Township newsletter for 2024 will be mailed out, and extra copies will be available in the vestibular to the residents within a week or early next week. Thank you, Mike, for assisting with the check ticket. I assume the duties of admin HR responsibilities until a new administrative assistant is appointed. Valerie is handling the emails received from Kendra's email address. The bond for Carl Richardson was canceled. Kendra Barr's bond was canceled and will take effect on June the 15th, 2024. I would like to be able to post about updates about such items as current road projects, public meetings, notices, etc. on the Harlan Township Facebook page. Is that possible?
I don't know why not. See that you get a login copy anyway.
Sam, I think we've got some conversation to have about the Facebook page anyway, because I think it's set up as an individual rather than like a public page. And with the communications committee, there might be some things that we need to do to increase the traffic there anyway.
Well, yeah, cause like I got road construction, you know what I'm saying? Email stuff like that, I could post on Facebook.
Yeah.
To let the residents know.
Yeah, so I don't have any issue with you having access to that either.
Thank you. Okay, on the township website, I was restricted to editor to financial subpages only. I could not post public notices, agenda, and the minutes because I was not made an administrator. Can we fix that? So I can post public notices, the agenda and minutes that I currently do.
I don't have any issue with that either.
No.
Well, I'll need Kendra's login and password to be able to do it, because then I gotta go in on her at that. Change me to admin.
I'm sure we talked to Kendra about it. Is that something that our IT contractor would help with too, or?
Well, no, I just need Kendra's password.
Yeah, just
Got
a
it.
password. Okay, we'll get that. Next,
Okay, approval accountability for items issued and returned forms. So I created two forms, one for the fire department and one for the rest of the employees. So Harlem Township property will be issued and returned to Harlem Township effective date of June the 12th, 2024. The fire department will complete the form for their department. And all other departments, I will complete the form for new hire and resigned employees. And you guys have the created forms, and I talked to Chief O'Brien. And he's all good with his form, and I told him I'd give him the Word document, so in case he wants to change anything in his.
should the date that we're adopting this be maybe at the bottom of the page, the form?
Yeah,
Okay, it'd be fine.
sure can add it.
Okay.
We
I'd
can
approve,
add the resolution.
Yeah. I would approve the accountability forms for the items issued and returned.
Seconded.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Still got a little bit of time, so we can do some other items here. The next resolution is the hiring of Kendra Bohr as office trainer. In other words, to train the new admin person that we hire, if and when we get somebody hired, at a rate of $24 an hour, up to 60 hours. I didn't have any idea how much training it would take, so I settled on that. It's an up to amount. People need to invoice Harlem Township for the training hours and complete a W-9. That's my motion.
You'd say up to, so assuming like the total hours. So if we get a person at 40 hours, essentially a week and a half.
Right.
Seconded.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Do you want
carried.
a roll call on that?
Yeah, we could.
Holiday?
Aye.
Jackson?
Aye. Okay. What are we doing on time?
6:07,
Okay, we're doing pretty good. Vacant trustee resumes received as of June 10th was the following: Rusty Bell, Shane O'Farrell, Amy Richardson, Jerry Paul, Matthew Royer, John Trainer, Amber Capwell, and Bob Singer. Interviews for the vacant trustee position and for the administrative assistant will be June 18th, and we've yet to add a reconvene. We're going to recess this evening and reconvene on the 18th. And that time is yet to be determined here this evening. Cemetery. You want to discuss that?
Yeah,
Adam?
I can speak to that. Just we need to discuss the deed for two plots that were originally purchased in 1936 in the Maple Grove Cemetery. Under special circumstances, the owner of those plots, Frank Cooper, would like to know if the township could purchase the plots back from him, or if we could essentially sell those plots to a different person. I do believe that there's mention of this in the ORC under section 517.07. It makes a mention of this, the township can purchase the cemetery plots back from the owner at a price agreed upon by the two parties. So I have not talked to Mr. Cooper about a specific amount or anything like that. But I do think the ORC guides it in that direction in that section.
Yeah. I believe, and this we have to be something checked with our rep at prosecutor's office. We cannot purchase them for any more than what they paid for.
Correct, and I think that's one of the things that Lisa and I at least had discussed is since there was such a significant time frame in between, I don't know if inflation takes impact in that, but I guess we should probably discuss it with Corey or someone else.
Yeah, that's a Corey question. I'm sorry. I hadn't heard of any exceptions. I've heard this sometimes plots can be resold for the purchase price, or they can be traded for some other location in the cemetery for some reason. But this will be had to go by him.
Mhm.
Well, we need him anyways, because he'll have to draw up a contract.
Right.
Yeah,
We're able to
okay.
purchase.
Facilities, I guess I got one thing. I got a call from Dustin Klein. He's doing the work at the Grange. And in his work in the bathroom, he encountered a couple things. The paneling, he was going to paint that, and the next thing he found out, there's drywall under it. So he's asking the question whether to touch up the drywall and paint that versus painting paneling. The other thing, when he took the base off around the bottom of the wall, suddenly, for one reason or another, the tile is 2 inches away from the wall. So there's a problem there. He's not going to be able to use the base he was originally using. So he's asking for input on that. And I don't know what you do with that. I don't know what kind of base it was to start with that concealed that 2 inches. I don't know if there was a 1 by and then this vinyl stuff like here that has a little foot on it.
Talking about 2 inches away from the wall.
Yeah.
Flat or 2 inches away from the wall. Height.
Flat. It lacks 2 inches. I got a picture if you want to see it.
You probably don't have any.
Dave, I can meet with them and discuss it.
Okay, that's good.
He sent you pictures?
Yeah, he did. We can look at that later. The other thing is he's wanting to replace the valves at the floor level underneath the commodes, which would be a good idea because they're old and crusty, and you're going to turn the water off, it's probably going to break. So he's supposed to be getting us an upgraded price of additions. He may have it by the 18th when we reconvene. Administrative office, anybody got anything on that? Um,
2 minutes.
yeah, fire chief's got a lot going on. I'll dive into one thing on the roads. We had an REA on the 3 culverts on Trenton Road. It's almost over to Miller Park. And they came back and you could do different things to it. But meanwhile, the big rain we go tonight plugged out with corn stalks and everything, and we had some issues. So I'm going to ask his office to make us a new price for an elliptical or a box culvert. But so he'll give us a price. That work wouldn't commence until 25, and we're subject to price change of materials and so forth in the meanwhile time. But we'll get a good idea. So that's the one thing about the roads. I got something else, but we'll deal with it. Are we time yet? Nope.
You want to do the approval for request for engineers assistance for?
Yeah, we can do that real quick. Do you put it here? I've completed an REA for OPWC grant application that the county engineer does for us. This is for Green Cook Road from Trenton South to Woodtown Road. That's 1.3 miles. And because of the expense of the project, that's why I didn't go per to Center Village Road. It would be for base stabilization if any is needed. A level coat and a primary asphalt coat on top, berm, center line, edge line, stop lines. And this would widen the road to 20 foot if possible, because it's on our inventory as 18 foot, but there's a couple places at 16.8. And the edges are breaking over. And with this, I'm also asking the Delaware County Engineers Office for grant enhancement assistance, which they take some of their sales tax money to help townships and villages towards this achieving this grant. Because the more you put into it up front, townships and county, the better chance you got to receive the grant. So I'm moving that we send a REA, request for engineering, to the county engineer for the 1.3 miles of the north end of Green Cook Road.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Holiday.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye. All right. Time now? Yeah, sure is. Okay, at this time, we'll open the hearing for the zoning application for Robert J. and Rhonda J. Piper, 1764 Green Cook Road, Sunbury, Ohio. This is to rezone 2.608 gross acres, 2.179 net acres from AR1 to FR1. And it's the 1764 Green Cook Road address. Parcel ID is 316-140-01020-000. Delaware Regional Planning met on this, the 425, and gave conditional approval. Let's see. I got it here. Basically, their comments were a soils report, which is normal that there'd be a soils report by the Delaware County Health Department, and a drainage plan to show the home site and other features, including potential drainage easements, should be provided to the township during the rezone process. The Harlem Township Zoning Commission then discussed it and recommended approval to the township trustees. There was no public input at the hearing. Is there a representative here for this?
Joe Place with Plan for Land, 1 South Harrison Street in Ashley, Ohio, here representing the Pipers, and I don't have anything to add. We're going through the lot split process for the Pipers to split a single family lot here, and then they're transferring some acreage to the adjoining existing house to help accommodate that lot that's currently non-conforming to make it a little bit larger. So that's what we got in front of you.
Any comments on what Mr. Clay said?
Yep, so that's what he shared. It's going to be the plan during the zoning.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Any other discussion? Close the public part. Adam, you have any comments?
No, I do not.
Entertain a motion to approve.
Second. Oh, excuse me. So moved.
Okay, I will second the motion. Roll call vote, please.
Jackson.
Aye.
Holiday.
Aye.
Okay. Rezoning is approved. It'll be effective in 30 days. Thank you. Now, the hearing we need to set is, we're receiving it tonight, the 12th. We have to have a hearing within 30 days. We cannot get to our June or July 17th meeting. There's too many days. We're possibly having a special meeting the 26th for informational meeting. Jim, that's still possible, the 26th?
Yeah.
Okay. I would, if this call trustee and physical officers in agreement, set this hearing for June 26th at 6:30 p.m. for the application we're receiving, 24-612T002, which is a zoning application for Dustin Ward and Michelle Morris to rezone 6.809 acres from AR1 to FR1. The address is 11761 Westerville, the Fancher Road, I'm sorry, Westerville, Ohio. The parcel ID is 316-340-01-044-00. So that's my motion for the 26th at 6:30 PM.
6:30 PM.
Yes,
Second.
all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. So that hearing for the Mr. Ward and Miss Morris will be the 26th.
6:30.
Correct, yeah. All right, fire chief,
Okay, I'd like an approval for the employment, contract for a full-time firefighter Brooke Curtis. Retroactive to June 3rd. And her, pay rate is $21.50, 254 yearly, and 22.79 bi-weekly.
okay. I'll make a motion 24-612T009 for approval of the employment for firefighter Brooke Curtis at those figures.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Jackson.
Aye.
Holiday.
240612T10, approval of employment to hire part-time firefighter EMT Lucas Sastro at a rate of $18 per hour.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Roll call it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Aye.
Aye. Next,
240612T11, approval of employment to hire part-time firefighter EMT John Grumney at a rate of $18 per hour.
So moved.
second. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carried.
240612T012, approval of employment to hire part-time firefighter EMT Craig Norman at a rate of $18 per hour.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
When
Approved.
we did the new contract for 2024, we'd had a lot of part-timers that were not working,
Mhm.
and we wanted to clean the books up. The next two that I'm going to ask is they have failed to meet the 48-hour minimum per month. We've had a few that have failed to do that or not come close to it or work some. We've reached out to them and have explained it, and we've accepted their explanation. The first one, we haven't heard from him for several months, 3 to 4 months. And one of the things is there's no point in having contract and rules if you don't enforce them. So we're going to let everybody know that we're enforcing what we say. And we're not going to allow this to continue. So 240612T013 is approval to remove part-time firefighter Justin Nelson from our roster.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
The second motion, resolution 240612T014, approval to remove part-time firefighter Kennedy Guerin from our roster.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Okay. The roof update before we get into the next big piece. I've talked with IAP. They're currently still waiting on all the bids to come in to present to us. When we did this, based upon the money we had, I told them $250,000 because we knew we had that in the funds. And the last email I got was he felt that it would be at or below that when the final bids come in. They're working on some prevailing wage things. Trustee, for your information, we can do this ourselves and we can bid this out. And it's a long drawn out process, or we can contract with IEP who can do bidding, who's been authorized to do bidding. They take care of all the bidding, all the contract work. We pay them a fee for that, but it does allow us to get better pricing and move projects along quicker. We used them several years ago, Trustee, for the back parking lot, I believe. I used them when I was at Liberty for a remodel. I've been very satisfied with them and we're happy with the lot. So that's where we are with, I'm just waiting on that.
I forget, they charge a certain percentage of the
It's a
project,
certain
right?
percentage of project, yes, but it's not an exorbitant amount. We don't have a contract, we have there and we're in the fact finding phase, so when they come back with bids and stuff, that's when we will have the contract. We'll know how much they're charging, what all three bids are, and then that's when we can proceed.
Did you say it was IEP that you said it would be at or below that kind of figure that?
That's the last thing I got from the gentleman that's been assigned to our.
Does that include their fee with it?
I'm sorry,
Does that include their fee?
that does not include their.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would probably be like, $500,000-600,000 now. But I don't know what percentage, their percentage is not large.
Sure.
But they do a lot of work and it is a lot of time saving and efficiency. And the I's are dotted and T's are crossed.
I got you.
Okay, so that's the update on the roof. Okay. Here we go. Do you have a number for this, Lisa?
Right there.
Oh, so I don't have the news page. Sorry, I apologize. Thank you. You still made new notes. A resolution number 24061T-015, establishing the necessity for replacement levy of the current fire EMS levy rate of 3.5 mils. The current levy, for everyone's information, is now collecting at an effective rate of 2.1. One of the things that the legislation is working on right now is to take away the township's abilities to do replacement levies. So, any levy going forward, even though we would normally replace it, will have to be a new levy, which in essence will be the same as a replacement, but it's a language thing. When this levy was first approved by our residents in 2020, at an effective rate of 3.1, it was $109 and I got it right here, sorry. Technology. It's $109.47 annually.
Mhm.
Okay, over the course of the 4 years, the effective rate has dropped to 2.14%. And it is costing our residents $78.24 per hundred. The replacement of the levy will increase the cost overall at an effective rate of 3.5 to $122.50 per hundred. However, if you look at the 109 that originally was approved, and to get that money back, it's about a $13 per $100,000 increase with the replacement. And also keeping in mind, as we look forward to what growth may occur, that initial rate obviously will begin to drop as we whatever housing or whatever else we may end up with in the long term. $47 increase looks like a sticker shock, but when you actually compare it to what it originally was, the $13, I know everybody's with their reassessments and stuff, it's been a hardship on some people. So Lisa and I've met, we've done some forecasting and stuff, and we feel that this is the best bang for the buck, and we'll continue to do efficient and very proud service with this. Don't tell me I need to read the whole thing.
Thought you was.
No, I didn't practice.
Can I ask you a couple questions, Chief?
Yes, absolutely.
What do we attribute the effective rate to? That percentage difference?
So the levies are all capped. So the most we will bring in from this levy is, in theory, is $1.1 million and some change. You do end up bringing a little bit more because of some new residents and some new things, but the most the levy can, in theory, bring in is the $1.1 million plus dollars. So as new houses are built and new valuation is added to the township's tax base, everyone's tax will drop to reflect that cap.
Because even though we establish a percentage, there's still a dollar amount that we're
There's
shooting
still a
for.
dollar amount, and then that's what drops, that's what brings the effective rate
So
down.
property values go up, people move into the township, your effective rate goes down.
Correct.
Correct.
The money stays the same, but the effective rate will drop. So people, if you started paying $109,000 or $109 per 100,000, and now after 4 years, you're paying 75. So the same thing will continue.
So it's not a situation where in, 4 or 5 years, we turn our 2,600 residents into 5,400 residents. It's not like you get double the money that we're talking about here. we're shooting for a particular dollar amount. I'm curious how far into the future you think this revised levy would take us.
So I have done a projection, Lisa and I went over it. I actually sat down and did, numerous projections based upon, cost increases, based upon personnel raises. And we come in the 2026 levy, depending on where we are now, we might just make it a new one and the cost will not go up exponentially on that levy. And we have made ourselves solvent well into 5 years from now.
Okay.
Based upon, what we do. Lisa gave me a report, which is very handy. Chief McKee and I sat down. We've already done a budget projection based upon spending so far this year. We anticipate a carryover. We're not sure how much. And so what I've done for budget is basically worst case scenario. And then it usually it always ends up, at least it has, ended up with, a greater carryover, so a greater long-term availability to be feasible.
Well, and I would assume, and I think it's just an assumption, and Jim, you might be able to attest to it. I mean, with any kind of growth, that effective rate is probably going to continue to go down. Right? Okay.
And then what will happen is when we hit the levy that's due in 26, we'll evaluate the value. We'll ask the auditor's office for, okay, now what do we get? We do the 4, it might be, it's potential that we get so much, or we get, whatever we get, we might not have to do it 4. We might be able to do a 3.5 and survive with that. So, but just predicting on the 3.5 replacement now, and then a replacement or a new 4 when it's due, we can go out into, the next 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I think it's important to make it dollars and cents, right? Because everybody gets a little bit distracted by the middle conversation and the effective rates. And any kind of township that's showing any kind of population or property value growth, I think it's very important that we establish that, right? Because somebody will hear a 10 mil and they'll be like, oh my gosh, that's double digits. There's no way I'm going to support this. But when we realistically think about what it's impacting us per 100 in a year based on property values that are going up, which I have a hard time feeling is a bad thing. I just want to make sure that we're all clear on that. So,
and Johnstown is at 11 mil, their fire, Monroe Township's 11 mil. I believe, and Lisa, you may know, I believe Genoa is going to ask for an additional levy. We're trying to stay as close as we can to where we've been and still provide the service. We've enhanced our service over the last 1.5 years. We're anticipating growth by enhancing our services, and we'd like to be able to continue in that path. We also plan on, once we have everything back, we plan on having like Saturday coffees with the chief, and people can come in and ask questions, or, always welcome in my office. And if you have, well, why are we doing this and why are we doing that? We're encouraging people to come talk to us, and we will show you and we will explain it to you, based upon, industry standards and what we've been doing for you and what we want to do for you. Here's where we're headed.
and then just out of curiosity, I mean, you talk a lot about service enhancements. Is there any specifics on that at this point?
So when I started a year ago, 1.5 years ago, there was 3 people a day. Very few part-timers, very few permanent part-timers, very few people working. When I got here, we'd had guys that we'd had guys that would sometimes have to work 2-3 days in a row just to maintain our minimum staffing with 3. One of the first things that I did, and I sat down and showed Chief McKee, is we do what's called critical tasking. So how many people do you need initially to arrive on the scene to be able to do the tasks that need to be done? And right now, our critical tasking based on our runs, the type of runs and stuff, is 5 people. And you can't really rely on mutual aid. You really shouldn't be relying on mutual aid for that. It should be a service that we can provide to our residents within the means that they see fit for us to have. And so we have the board, on the previous board, and has allowed us to increase our staffing to 5 a day. Our minimum is still 3. And we're looking to maybe add another full-time set of staffing, because right now during vacations, we've got a lot of overtime again because we only have 2 people. So you let one person off, you get 1 full-time person. And so we're looking at safety factors, we're looking at response times, we're looking at everything.
What is the closest mutual aid station?
The closest mutual aid station, it's a kind of a toss up, depends on which way you go.
Depends on where you're
You've
at.
got
Right?
Monroe, you've got New Albany,
Mhm.
or you got Plain Township, you've got Genoa. We do have many 9 up there that we run with, that they do respond with us. But the time clock is of essence, and we can get 5 people on a cardiac arrest or a fire immediately. We are outcomes based. We get much more positive outcome the quicker we can get the amount of equipment and people there that we need
Sure.
versus having to wait.
Grilling the chief.
Any other questions, the chief?
And again, I've heard everybody feel free to stop in anytime, come see me. If you have ideas and things you'd like to see us be doing that we're not doing, or you want questions about it, be more than happy to sit down and talk.
Personally, I support the fire department 100%.
Thank you.
I'm from the years where was volunteer. Remember, my insurance was woo, like crazy.
And we are.
But my son worked here too for a long
And
time.
speaking
Yeah.
of insurance, one of the things that with our staffing and we've changing our training and some of the things we're doing. We are for an ISO rating, our insurance. Not all insurance companies use it, but our goal is to, like this time next year, with staffing and with stuff being a 3. And then that is a major improvement. Homeowners don't see a lot of return on that, but anybody else that comes in, larger businesses or whatever you guys decide to be having in, they will see a break on that.
Yeah.
So, thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Thank you. This time I would move resolution 24-0612T 015, the resolution necessity for to levy a replacement tax and it says excess of 10 mil limitation for the purpose of providing fire and EMS.
Second the motion.
Have a roll call vote, please.
Jackson,
Aye.
Holiday,
Okay, anything else, chief?
No, thank you.
All right. Zoning, Mike, you got something?
I do. Just gonna review real quick. Right now, we're standing at 23 permits for the year. We've got, breakdown of 6 single family reds, 7 accessory buildings, 2 remodels, 5 pools, 1 deck, 1 revision extension, 1 solar panel. We also have, 3 permits right now in the process. We're currently tracking 11 code enforcement violations. 5 are businesses in residential areas. The other 6 are junk cars, trash, and debris. Right now, we're focusing on, I'm focusing on signs. We've got a lot of signs that are getting pinned up on telephone poles still. And I've addressed them once, talked with Corey, the ones that are sitting there. I'm gonna probably just go out and take them down. I'll get with Jason, we're have to store them somewhere for probably 30 days for them to come pick it up. Otherwise, I'm gonna throw them out. I did want to bring up one thing when you're talking about road closings. We have High Street in town right there where the Delco Tower is. They're working on it. They're gonna close it Friday. I mean, there's 2 entrances on it. It looks like probably the side that's nearest the tower is gonna be closed Fridays, but everybody should be able to get in and out there.
Mike, I wonder that the information you emailed us today on that, I wonder if we can't get that to Val and or Lisa to get that on the Facebook page, just so we can advertise the best we can. I know they didn't give us a whole lot of notice of it, but the more,
Came in today.
yeah, the more communication we get out, the better.
How long is that closure gonna be?
Just today.
Oh, okay,
They just gotta pour some concrete.
All right.
Stuff down to bring the big crane.
okay, very good.
As far as some of the other potential issues for the zoning commission and the BZA, we've got a few people a few businesses that were supposed to come in. Looks like they're dragging their feet a little bit. I'm gonna have to get Corey to start addressing them and push them a little bit. I've had the lawyers calling me and talking to me. They're asking some of the same questions I answered last month. So we'll just have Corey go ahead and push the point with them to get them to either come in to the BZA or whichever one they're going, BZA or zoning commission, or we need to take some action on them. So we're at that point on those. We are getting a lot of calls in just for some general information. We're receiving a lot of inquiries, mostly about the southern part of the township, Fancher Road. Not a lot going on up around Trenton, and I think that's probably because of some of the activity up there with Sunbury. Questions are just ranging from how quick the sewer will be available to what the current zoning in the areas are. Getting a lot of calls from the developers and real estate people wanting to sell the property. So a lot of interest going on. We'll wait and see how it happens.
Lots of calls being made about solar farms too.
I heard one last month Now, I've had some people calling asking about it, but not people calling asking to put one in, so I've only heard of the one, but
I got 2 calls a day.
plus, I just want to bring up one other thing. We got a couple issues out there that I'm gonna probably have to start getting chief involved, because we're probably gonna have to go the route of either the health department or maybe some other things that chief's got up his sleeve to address.
Okay, very good.
Some other
Yeah,
issues.
and to tag on to Mike's about the solar farms and stuff.
Right,
When I came in and I had you guys approve the fire code and adopt it, we also put an addendum on there that specifically addresses the solar farms and the battery storage, so we can collect fees. They'll have to not only meet the zoning requirements, but they'll also have to meet fire code requirements for any installation. So we've kind of got a double check that we're working on.
Yeah, and we could, with Corey, we could get to the point where I'm gonna need to start fining the businesses that aren't coming in, but that's gonna be hashed out.
Okay.
Prosecute.
anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Nope, that's it. Okay, next thing we have on our agenda is the zoning commission, and we have a motion to approve the zoning commission to continue working with the Delaware County Regional Planning. It's estimated expenditure of $3,000 to complete the Harlem Township zoning resolution update. I would make that motion. It's 24-0612T016.
Second,
You have a second?
I do, second.
Roll call, please.
Jackson.
Aye.
Holiday.
Aye.
Economic Development, Mr. Steel Smith.
Yes, thank you. It's been a very busy month. To segue off of where Mike left, the southeast portion of the township has been getting a lot of calls. That's where we have a large mixed use area overlay. So been working with Tiffany Mag from Delaware County Sewer. We're trying to get a cost and location map drawn up to when the sewer goes live. One of the main things we want to do is go across southern Harlem Township and get to that area. Once we get there, that will help the township immensely. One thing, like Mike said, when they call and then we tell them we don't have any sewer, you know, that pretty much kills everything. And in order to keep our vision and our overlays alive, then we sort of need that sewer. And Delaware County realizes that and they're working on it. It just seems like it takes forever to get the costs and that type of thing together. Speaking of sewers, we have an appointment with Galena and its mayor and staff on the 21st of this month. We're going to look at a possible sewer agreement with Galena. It'll be the first meeting to discuss that. Those attending will be Bob Sanger, our trustee Adam Holiday, and myself. This, of course, is very important for many reasons. We are putting an overlay up there. This will help our overlay regarding the Sunbury expansion along Trenton Road. Also of great importance, we have been working on a new TIF, which is a tax increment financing for Harlem Township. The Harlem staff, Crossroads Community Planning, and attorney Pete Greggs. We've been working on this and we are just about complete with a new TIF for Harlem Township. This is an economic development tool that'll help infrastructures and it's supported by the state of Ohio. At this point, I believe in talking with the trustees that we're scheduling an informational meeting to go over the northern overlay that's being put in and also the new TIF for June 26th. And community planning and also attorney Pete Griggs will be present along with our staff to present this to the township, explain what the overlay is going to entail, and also how a TIF works. This has been a quite it's been taking a lot of work to get this put together. And we're sort of happy that it's coming to fruition. And I think everybody will be pleased with that. And with that, and all that work being done, the only thing I would ask is that the trustees will then have to decide, and I think Dave's already got a meeting set for the 6:30. I had originally talked to Holly about the trustee meetings for this starting at 7. So she was set up for 7.
Okay, that's fine.
And that's all I have for right now. If you have any questions,
Any questions?
from you?
No, I'm good. Bob?
Is it for the tip for a specific person or area or developer or just,
It's for the entire township.
okay.
Like it's for improvements for the entire township. It's pretty cool.
Okay. That's all for your end. We'll go on to maintenance. The repair, Lisa, for the Roadmore, the hydraulic cylinder for $750. We're waiting on a new estimate. That unit, the cylinder is no longer available. So we've got to work with a shop to try to manufacture one, which can be done. But Dexter is supposed to get back to Otis or Jason about estimate. So Jason, you got anything?
Not this time, Dexter did mention that they'll probably have to just rebuild that cylinder,
Really?
which would be quite cheaper than purchasing a new one.
Okay. Well, as long as they check the rod and make sure it's straight.
Right, right.
If
I
that's,
think it's just a seal issue.
okay, that's fine.
Other than that, for maintenance, just been chewing away grass, getting the cemetery clean.
Okay.
Just for the record too, Jason, I appreciate you 2 weeks ago handling that and internment, I think is the appropriate term. You guys took care of that really quickly and I appreciate that.
Okay, we already handled the REA for Green Cook. To explain a little bit about that process, the OPWC grant. The Delaware County sets a deadline of the end of June for us to designate what roads we, if any, we want to put towards that grant process. They fill out the paperwork, get it submitted by, I believe, 1st October. And it takes, they usually start, the committee starts looking at the grant process. I want to say mid-January, and usually long about mid-February, you hear whether you made it to first cut or not. So it's a process. We received one this year for Montgomery Road being paved and repaired and so forth. The last one before that we got was Trenton Road, our portion of Trenton, which is from 605 to Miller Paul. I believe that was maybe 3 years ago. So we do get lucky every now and again. And like I said, Delaware County engineer does kick a little money in, sweeten the pot to give you a few more points to score for that.
Dave, this is the approval for OPWC. The
Right.
one you did is for engineer assistance for the OPWC. So
Well,
you got-
but that's it. That was it.
Well, in the past, we've done both of them.
Well, we can do.
You want me to,
Well, we usually send a letter with the REA, which I guess this is what that.
yeah, I've got the resolution.
Okay. Well, with that, I'll make a motion, resolution 24-612T017 to submit a formal letter of application. Have a second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Jackson,
All right.
Holiday.
Aye.
Okay, we did the next one, the request.
Trenton.
And Trenton. Like I talked about before on the culverts, I talked with Doug and I don't think this motion is necessary now. He's going to come back and give us an estimate. So we can forego this motion. We'd already did an REA a while back for them to evaluate the condition. Next we have purchase of bulk mulch for the park. Resolution 24-612T020 to approve the purchase from Almendinger Sawmill, 7 cubic yards of hardwood bark mulch for $295. This price includes mulch plus hauling for the new garden.
So move.
Second, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, approved. Next one is to approve bulk soil for the park, 8 cubic yards, premium soil, $417. Looks like that includes hauling.
So move.
Second, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Next one is to approve the rent of a sod cutter for the park.
Sod's already been cut.
Okay, I guess we're doing this after the fact. Huh?
We borrowed some equipment and we effectively broke up the sod.
Okay,
We're working with it and.
but we don't need this.
Forward, so
Good,
don't need.
good thing.
You saved us $161.
There you go. That's always a good thing. Okay, next on the agenda, Dave, you want to speak in regard to the America 250?
Yes. The American 250 celebration events are starting to come into focus. There's a number of different things that are moving forward. I'm trying to keep you posted so that we have time to process through the ideas here and decide what we want in Harlem Township, this sort of thing. So it's not like there's an emergency here. I hope I'm not sounding too much like a broken record, but this is for 2026, and actually there's some things that are going to start a year from now in 2025 and work on through. Big focus on agriculture. And I want to be talking with a lot of folks here about how we can help and support a project that deals with agriculture, history, barns, architecture, things that really matter, I think, to a lot of us here in Harlem Township, as well as Delaware County, as well as Ohio. It's all connected. Another thing that we're focused on is cemeteries. We have 12 Revolutionary War veterans graves here in Harlem Township. There's some really fascinating stories out there. That we know from biographies and information we have on some of our Revolutionary War vets. We'd like to get more information. We'd like to do some things that we think will be pretty fun to help the public learn more about that early part of the township's history. We also want to focus on a whole range of issues that deal with cemeteries. So it's something we want to have a lot of education. We want to make it fun for people. And we think, we're really well situated for that, but we need to think about the kinds of things that we can put together to augment or to go along with, dovetail with the programs that are being developed through Delaware County Historical Society. And finally, we of course, we want to have fireworks. We want to have parades. And this is a big milestone for us, 250 years. And we want to make sure that it's out there front and center. It's got a spotlight on it. And that we are giving it its due when we get to July 4th, 2026. So that's a lot of planning. And one of the things I think about on this is, I look back and I see, some of the state parks and memorials and all of this out there, national parks and so forth. Over the last 250 years, we've preserved and protected things that really gives me a sense of connection with history and heritage in this. And I kind of want future generations to look back and see here in Harlem Township, what are we leaving here in 2026? What are we going to have that spotlight on so that, you know, the 3, 4 generations down the road look back and say, yeah, I was there. And that was really something that helped me focus my life. So want to talk with people about ideas. What can we have here that becomes something that is a way of honoring our heritage in something that's tangible?
Dave, I remember when you brought up the America 250 on our meeting in May, and short of, I don't want to be non-committal. Me personally, like, I'm all on board with anything we need to do when it comes to our community's heritage, our country's heritage, right? So I'm super interested in whatever we need to do with this. I'm curious if you think that this is something that Harlem Township Heritage will kind of take the reins of, if an additional volunteer committee needs to be formed to kind of push a lot of this information or determine what needs to be done with the American 250 initiative. Because you said it here, there's substantial information, right? So I'm just curious, what do you think we need to do to make sure that we're maximizing our potential for that?
I think Harlem Township Heritage is focused on the idea of community more than being something like a museum. This is our museum and all. And this is really good. It's special, but it's we aren't connecting with the rest of the people who aren't in the room right now on those things. Harlem Township Heritage it's not really well set up to coordinate big volunteer group effort on some of these things. So for example, we're talking about agriculture. We'd like to do a survey of barns. Well, somebody needs to provide some of that foundation. We're recording things on paper. What do we do with this? How do we get this data into a format that we can provide to people? And this is something that I think really needs to have the trustees' guidance right there, so that this doesn't just fall into somebody's lap and they put it in their garage and find it 43 years later. There's some of this that is going to have a cost to it. And so we need people that can look at this and give it an audit that's really, thorough.
Sure.
And have that, they're a second set of eyes, that they are independent review possibilities. But I think I'm gonna work real hard. Hope I'm not divulging too much of my hand. I'd like to see township trustees budget for some activities as a way of helping us reach out and engage with people that might be willing to, one, volunteer or be contributors.
Sure.
I would like to see money coming in. We need to make sure that we're ready for that to begin with from the get-go.
And yes, we have a number of heritage members who have volunteered for things like the barn surgeries, contacting people and things of that sort. So we do have, and we are involved in it.
Okay. I think, Mr. Chairman, I think the thing that I would probably recommend in a situation like that is that any information that HTH or anyone else is able to provide to us via email that can be informative, right? To give us some kind of guidelines or anticipation of what some of that budgetary need might be. that would give us a good starting point for the next point of conversation in a trustee meeting, right? Of this is coming, we want to set some money aside for it. We just need to know what that ballpark should be. And I would love to see this as an opportunity for a little bit more community engagement. I mean, I know that not everybody wants to necessarily, work in the parks or be on the communications or zoning, right? Like, but if somebody wants to work on, the 250th anniversary of America and how that impacts Harlem Township, I'd love to see some more people step up to that. So, I'm sure we can get the communications committee to try to get that communicated out as well. But, that would be my
That's a good
suggestion.
starting
is,
point.
send us some email information so we know where to go. And of course, no decision would be made outside of a trustee meeting.
Very good.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Okay.
I know, Mr. Jackson, I know we had a few things to take into executive session, and I wonder if you might want to entertain public comments prior
That's
to
what I
that.
was gonna say. Let's do like we did last meeting, 15 minutes of public comments, 3 minutes max per person. Somebody, yes, Jenny?
I just wanted to ask, a number of times tonight, you've, talked about putting, township information out on the Facebook webpage or the Facebook.
Mhm.
Facebook. There are a lot of people who don't do Facebook. I'm one of them. I will not do Facebook. So if you could also put that information on the township webpage, which I think a lot of people
Okay.
look at first to get information, that would be very helpful.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I don't do Facebook either, so. Anything else?
Yeah.
Diane?
Well, I took some photographs of the roundabouts down on Smothers Road,
Okay,
and I feel that roundabouts are kind of the entrance to the township. When people drive in, they go around that, they see that. The one on Harlem Road and Smothers is really a big mess. Yeah, you can take that one. I have had comments from people that the roundabout is too high and they can't see cars coming. And so that's a problem. Now that one, that's on Red Bank, and that one's pretty good.
yeah,
It has trees, it looks nice, coming into Harlem Township, it looks good. But this one on Harlem Road and Smothers is a real problem. There's so many directional signs, first of all, that you don't even know where to look. And one time I tried to count them, I think there were 25 that went around that roundabout. This roundabout is covered with weeds and dead grass, and it looks terrible.
that's the Harlem Road one, right? Yeah,
And so when you're driving in to Harlem Township, you see the aesthetics of weeds and dead grass. And I don't think it looks good for the township. So I don't know if you guys can talk to ODOT and say, we'd like this to be upgraded. We want it to look nice.
we might be able to talk to the jurisdictions involved, whether Harlem Road, that'd be county. So we could maybe
Yes.
talk to them.
But
See what-
I think they need to cut it off some,
Yeah,
so that people can see the cars coming towards them.
not too much fun with farm equipment either.
Well, there you go.
Curbs are a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I don't know, I did take a picture of it, but I feel that we need to have pride in the township. And as you enter, it should look good. It shouldn't look like a mess, a trash. So,
we can make an inquiry to the county engineer about maintenance and so forth.
yeah.
See what
it's-
kind of response we get.
It's really more than maintenance. I think they really need to redo this one. And then the one that's on Fancher in 605, I hope they have a nicer plan. I've looked at roundabouts all over the county. Some of them are really beautiful. They have large stones and plantings and different things. So anyway, hopefully with your voice, we can get something done. And this isn't a very good picture, but you can see there's nothing there except weeds.
It looks like they tried to do some landscaping, but maybe not a whole lot of maintenance going on with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
the landscaping was done years ago when they put it in,
Wasn't
and
it?
then it all died,
Right,
and nothing's ever been done, so,
okay,
Thank you.
okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Anybody else? Joni?
Please don't forget that there is a farmer's market and food truck scheduled at the park on Thursday.
Which food truck is it?
Burger bus, I think.
Yeah, I think it is.
Bob, I saw you.
Regarding the roundabout. I can't speak for the weeds or what can be done. I don't know whether the township's allowed even. I have asked in the past about the height of it. They say it is safer with it being higher because you're more attentive to watching the part. That's was the explanation.
I've never seen one quite so high, but.
It makes you slow down.
Yeah.
There has been a couple vehicles go over it though. You saw the tar tracks. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah, John?
When the Intel announcement was made, Licking County went into a strategic planning mode and developed the framework document, which we've helpfully placed on the Harlem Township website. And I'm wondering, as Delaware County takes a look at Intel and the impact on townships at this end of the county, if Harlem Township has reached out to Delaware Regional Planning, and if they have any kind of strategic thoughts about how this this corner of the county is going to be impacted and potentially developed, and is Harlem Township committed to working with Delaware County in that process?
Well, that's what right after Intel was announced, as you know, we formed a strategic planning committee. And they worked hard consulting those entities, those different agencies, the other communities, the power company, the Delco and all that stuff. And they accumulated a lot of information, made a lot of contacts. I mean, they took a phenomenal amount of meetings, not just the meeting here twice a month, but they met on their own. The folks that was on that committee spent many hours. And I don't know if Delaware's done anything yet or not. I mean, I went to a meeting about the roads, January of, I think it was January 22. And we met with the county engineer. I said, you know, Delaware Lincoln County Line Road is gonna be a main corridor. It goes clear to Route 3. And so all of a sudden, you know, now we're gonna have 3 roundabouts on it. So, and I went to an ODOT meeting here about 6 weeks ago. It was supposed to be studying the corridor for 37 from 161 to Route 23. And they started in Delaware coming out, and Delaware City told them about a couple big developments. ODOT didn't know about it. And they went on, clear on down to 161. And then Trenton Township trustee and I asked him, well, what about 605? Well, what do you mean? Well, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you could use a turning lane. That's not in their 10-year program. Now figure that out. So.
Yes, the squeaky wheel may get the grease.
Yeah, well, that's how we're getting the roundabout at Fancher to maybe save some of these accidents, but there's a lot more to come on this road eventually, all the roads around here. And that's why I'm wanting to put in part of our Green Cook Road to get it 20 feet. Because measuring it in those few locations is 16'8" with meeting trash trucks and school buses passing each other and that kind of thing. That's not safe. With the edge of the road, you can't hold it, it breaks off.
I would appreciate also if our leadership would consider, as we look at this meeting on the 26th, as we're making a pretty quick shift from the township heading in one direction to another and conversations evolving, if a strategic vision for development that encompasses a period of time could be unpacked for the township so that it doesn't look hit or miss or this or that, but there's a strategic vision that encompasses the whole.
Yeah.
I think that would be very helpful for us.
Well, that's part of the overlay districts, what has been accomplished so far and what's to come. So there's work being done.
Understood.
So, okay, thank you. Anything else?
Yes, I've got a hand raised. Where'd she go?
Okay,
There we go. Ask her to unmute. Jen?
Hi, so, yeah, thank you. So, you
So-
kind of just answered it. That's why I lowered it. But my main question was, because I know that the Strategic Planning Committee did an awful lot of work. And I think one of my concerns, and I really don't think I'm the only one in the community, that concern when that was disbanded, I felt like all that hard work, even though the overlays are in process, how is all that hard work? It almost feels like we went backwards. So maybe with this next meeting you're gonna have, will that be discussed? Like, are those efforts? I hate to see all that money and all that time. We were moving forward, and then it disbanded, and it kind of makes us feel little lost. So are we going to be integrating besides just the overlays, besides Holly's meeting and discussion? Can you talk a little bit about like going forward? Like, is there going to be something similar to that strategic planning committee? Because I really feel like that was a good thing. And when that disbanded, it was a bit disheartening on everything going forward.
it certainly was, but with the atmosphere, the committee members had just burnt out, and that kind of thing. It's the process now has slowed down greatly without the committee because the director of zoning and Mr. Steelsmith are gonna look over the overlays and go through it, and then it's gonna go to the zoning commission like it did when it came from the SPC. So we're gonna drop down a gear or so in speed to accomplish that, but I felt so badly for the members of that committee for the efforts and the hard work they put in and for how it turned out. I completely understand why they wanted to disband, but that's kind of one of those phrases I'd like to see the band get back together, but I don't know if it's possible or not.
I think I just expand upon what you're saying. I think the only thing that would change now based on when the SPC was in place was just the speed of action. And, Mike, Jim, tell me or shake your head or not if you disagree. Because instead of, volunteer committee of folks, now you got a couple of guys, that are trying to take care of everything on its own. Other than that, I think the main thing that we want to try to take away from the past 3 or 4 months is just increasing a lot of the communication to the community. The work that the SPC did, with the exception of maybe one specific initiative, has not gone away. That's one of the biggest things that we are continuing to work with Crossroads on to try to make sure some of that work still makes a positive impact for the preservation and future of the township. So really, like I said, I'm hoping that we can just improve communication, get information out as quickly as possible, and then try to keep up with all the influx. Like these gentlemen mentioned, there's lots of calls every day. So we're trying to do the best that we can.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, anything else before we move on? Okay,
I have one question.
yes, ma'am.
Statement. Why have no one asked Tim Newman, who owns a roofing company? He's lived in our community for almost 30 years. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'd give you guys a good deal.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And I was kind of bummed at the pay rate of a part-time person for the fire. That's not very good. I mean, Costco's hiring for $20 an hour. You know what I mean? I feel bad for you guys, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not saying you
Yeah.
deserve more. And we're paying other people
Right.
here. But these people are supposed to save our life and we're only giving them chump change. I
Right,
don't get it.
understand.
It kind of bums, my kid was a firefighter, now he's a CPD. But it
Mm.
bums me out, that they're not making what they're worth.
Yeah,
That's just my opinion.
Okay,
hence the levies, right?
there you go. Okay. Yeah, Mike?
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everyone that the recommendations that came from strategic planning resulted in 4 new zoning articles being adopted.
Right,
And those are available. They're on the website. Anyone can go and look at them, and that represents tremendous amount of work that those people on the strategic planning committee did, working with Holly,
right,
and they are in fact on the books.
thank
They
you.
are adopted.
Anything else we need to move on? Okay, we're gonna do one executive session in regard to employment. And then we'll come back out. And if there's any results, we'll share those. Then we're gonna do the second executive session for the applicants for trustee and so forth. So we have a motion to do executive session.
Mr. Chairman, that we move to executive session at 8:16 PM to discuss the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of an employee.
I'll second the motion. Have a roll call vote, please.
Jackson,
Aye.
Holiday,
Aye. Oh, and Lisa, I would invite to the meeting Jason Andruzis from the maintenance department and Lisa Hersey, fiscal officer.
Yes, thank you. Okay. I'll make a motion. We come back into session, out of executive session.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Jackson,
Aye.
Holiday,
Aye. Mr. Chairman, would move to approve under resolution 24-061T-023, the employment contract between Harlem Township and current part-time maintenance worker Lewis William Kelly at the pay rate of $32.70 an hour, targeted 40 hours per week, $68,016 yearly, $2,616 biweekly, including benefits with a starting date after July 1st, on or after July 1st. And Lisa authorized to create and sign an employee contract with Mr. Kelly.
Okay. I will second that. Have a roll call vote, please.
Jackson,
Aye.
Holiday,
Aye.
Motion carried.
Mr.
Kelly is hired as of July.
July the 1st.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I would motion that we move to executive session to discuss the employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of an employee.
I'll second that. A roll call vote, please.
Jackson,
Aye.
Holiday,
Aye.
invited,
Invited fiscal officer?
Yes. Okay. Okay, have a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
I'll second that. Roll call vote, please.
Holiday,
Aye.
Jackson,
Aye. Okay, we have decided to conduct interviews June 18th at 3 PM for trustee candidates. We're gonna allow, what, 20 minutes or so each, half an hour. And we'll conclude, then we'll have a little bit of a break, and at you say 6:30, we're gonna reconvene again and interview the admin applicants. We have 4, I believe. So, and that's on June 18th, starting at 3 PM in the afternoon for the trustees, and then the admins will follow at 6:30. They will be notified of such time and so forth. Do we need to add to the agenda for the title project for the Gator?
yeah, You're gonna move to reconvene this meeting at blank and till January the 18th at blank.
Yeah.
Following interview trustee, administrative assistant candidates, the fire levy resolution. To proceed, if we receive the resolution of necessity back from the auditors after certification. Gary Walters of Ohio Plan to Review Township Policy and Cyber Insurance. And to complete the Gator title,
Yes,
that's what we're gonna do just on the 18th.
okay,
Those things.
very good. So at this time, have a motion to recess until 3 p.m. June 18th and we'll handle those following items that Lisa just spoke about.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Jackson.
Aye.
Holiday.
Aye.
Okay, that concludes the meeting till then. We've got a little bit of homework here to do for Miss Lisa.
Lisa, the signatures that we need to do is that public business during the meeting, or are we move to adjourn?
You can move to adjourn. It's just to sign the paperwork. You guys already voted on it.
No more public business, Mr. Chairman, move to adjourn the meeting.
No. We're recessing.
Yeah. We're
Oh,
just
move to recess then.
Yeah, that's what we just did.
That's right, okay.
Thank you.
We are recessed.
Yeah.